Hi guys. Okay, today we're going to read the second chapter. Now, remember we're reading George's Marvellous Medicine, and so far we read the chapter called Grandma, and we met two characters. Well, actually we met three, but one we didn't see very much of. Who is the main character in the story? Can you remember? It is George. Well done. The other character we met is Grandma. Very good. So in this chapter there is George and Grandma. You also meet the mum right at the beginning. She's going out to the village shopping. She's not in the story so far that much. So what kind of lady is Grandma? Have a think. Is she nice? Is she kind? Is she a bit mean? Try and think if you can think of a good adjective to describe Grandma. I would say that she is, in fact, here there's a lovely thing. It says she was a grisly old grunion of a grandma. So she's grisly, she's a bit vile, she's not a very nice. And here it also says she was a miserable old grouch. She's not a very nice grandma. And she's not very nice to George, is she? So we read the story, the first chapter, where Grandma asked George to make her a cup of tea. And remember, at the end of the chapter, what was she doing to George? She was really scaring him, wasn't she? Talking about slugs and all different kind of insects. And at the end, George ran out of the room, didn't he? Because he was scared of her. So let's go to the contents. The next chapter we read Grandma's called The Marvellous Plan, and that's on page 18. So here we go. Are we ready? Let's see if we can carry on going. So, The Marvellous Plan. George sat himself down at the table in the kitchen. He was shaking a little. Oh, how he hated Grandma. He hated that horrid old witchy woman. All of a sudden, he had the tremendous urge to do something about her. Something whopping, something absolutely terrific, a real shocker, a sort of explosion. He wanted to blow away the witchy smell that had hung about in the next room. He may have only been 8 years old, but he was a brave little boy, and he was ready to take this old woman on. I'm not going to be frightened by her, he said softly to himself. But he was frightened, and that's why he suddenly wanted to explode her away. Well, not quite away, but he did want to shake the woman up a bit. Very well then, what would it be? This whopping, terrific, exploding shocker for Grandma. He would have liked to put a firework banger under her chair, but he didn't have one. He would have liked to put a long green snake down the back of her dress, but he didn't have a long green snake. He would have liked to put 6 black rats in her room with her and lock the door, but he didn't have 6 big black rats. As George sat there pondering this interesting problem, he fell upon the bottle of Grandma's brown medicine standing on the sideboard. Rotten stuff it seemed to be. 4 times a day, a large spoonful of it was shovelled into her mouth, and it didn't do her the slightest bit of good. She was always just as horrid after she had had it as she had been before. The whole point of medicine surely was to make the person better. If it didn't do that, then it was quite useless. So ho, thought George suddenly. Aha! Hum! I know exactly what I'll do. I shall make her a new medicine, one that is so strong and so fierce and so fantastic it will either cure her completely or blow the top of her head. I'll make it a magic medicine, a medicine no doctor in the world has ever seen before. George looked at the kitchen clock. It said 10:05. There was nearly an hour left before Grandma's next dose was due at 11. Here we go then, cried George, jumping up from the table. A magic medicine it shall be. So give me a buzz and a jumping flea. Give me 2 snails and a lizard's 3. And a slimy squidger from the sea. And poisonous sting of a bumblebee. And the juice of a fruit from the jujube tree. And the powdered bone of a wombat's knee, and 100 other things as well, each with a rather nasty smell. I'll stir them up, I'll boil them long, and the mixture tough and a mixture strong. And then, hey-ho, down it goes. A nice big spoonful, hold your nose. Just gulp it down and have no fear. How do you like it, Grandma dear? Will she go pop or will she explode? Will she go flying down the road? Will she go poof in a cloud of smoke? Start fizzing like a can of Coke? Who knows, nor I. Let's wait and see. Oh, I'm glad it's neither you nor me. Oh, Grandma, if only you knew what I've got in store for you. So at the end of this chapter, it was quite a short chapter. 1, 2, 3, about 3 pages. At the end of this chapter, George has decided he's going to make a marvellous medicine. This is what the story is all about. So in chapter 2, he's decided he's going to make a marvellous medicine, which is what the picture's about. And he's going to give it to Grandma. Why is he making a marvellous medicine? I think he's making a marvellous medicine because it does say in here that he wants to try and cure her, doesn't he? He wants to try and get her to explode. Why do you think he would want to get someone to explode? I think it might be because she's not very nice to him. So maybe he might be able to cure her, make her nicer. Or if not, then he'll just get her to explode. Right, well, tomorrow we're going to read the next chapter, which is called George Begins to Make the Medicine. I wonder what that will be about. You could always draw your picture. Draw a picture of George or you making a special magic medicine. What would you put in your medicine? Okay, see you tomorrow.